Hello, and welcome to Leading Ladies, Past, Present, and Future podcast with me, yours truly, Antoinette Westcott, along with my co-host, Renee L. Page.
Hi, hello.
This week, our leading lady joining us is Tanya Stringer. Tanya Stringer is a powerhouse in the healthcare administration and financial services industry. As a financial advisor, Tanya's clients range from high net worth individuals to small business owners in her community, both locally and nationally. In addition to her wealth of knowledge she provides, Tanya is a board member of Young Women's Don't Quit. It's a nonprofit organization with a mission of keeping young women moving forward in their personal lives as they raise their children. She also volunteers with DREAM, Dream Program, sponsored by the Las Vegas Police Department. And I cannot leave out the last little bit is a member of the Delta Sigma Theta sorority.
Oh,
welcome, Tanya.
Yes, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I so appreciate it.
Oh, we're excited to have you. Yes. You know, I am. Yeah.
Well, you originally started in healthcare.
Yes, I did. So I always loved math and science, and I'm not going to age myself, but in my generation, if you loved math and science, you were going to be a doctor or an engineer. So that is what I was, I'm not going to say being brainwashed, but that's what I was being encouraged to do, is to become a physician. And actually, towards the end of my undergraduate career, or schooling, I should say, I am about to graduate with this degree in biology. I think that I am getting ready to go to medical school. I take the MCAT, all of that. I do this externship with some physicians. I start shadowing physicians. And I was like, oh, no, this is not me. I can't deal with the bodily fluids. And I commend Renee and all my healthcare colleagues for, especially the clinical ones, for being able to withstand all of it. But I said, this isn't going to work. And here I am, a senior, getting ready to graduate with a degree in biology. And I'm like, I'm not going to medical school. What am I doing? And so I had a physician that said, you know what, Tanya, you would be great at healthcare administration, and you'd be able to impact a lot of patients on a larger scale. So my healthcare administration career took me to the executive level. So I have no qualms about that path. I ended up, I call myself retiring from.
Yes.
I call myself retiring from healthcare. I served in healthcare for over 20 plus years. I retired as a chief operating officer. During that time frame, my purview had a lot of operations, but it also had a lot of finance. So I had finance departments reporting to me, revenue cycle. I managed organizations up to $300 million in revenue. And
oh my goodness.
Yeah, large hospitals and multi-specialty physician groups. Well, my love for math, my love for finance obviously served me well in that healthcare.
And well, you didn't think about an accountant?
Yeah. That's okay. And my husband would probably, my husband's not an accountant any longer, but, and they're both in finance, my mother and my husband, but that's boring.
Yeah.
Anyway, personally, it's boring. So just crunching numbers, kind of on a spreadsheet, not so me. Okay. But it was very rewarding in the time that I spent in healthcare, and my span of control, the way I was able to advance, the mentors that I had, I would do it all over again. But, sometimes you're called for something different. And so the pandemic was, and I saw it.
Well, at what point did you know it was coming?
Yeah.
So
you ain't call me.
I didn't get a phone call.
Yeah.
daughter. Okay. So I'll explain. And Renee, I know, will be able to relate from her nursing and clinical background. But so in 2020, yes, it was going to be my daughter's 21st birthday. And we had planned this trip to go to Phuket. So to get there, you have to stop in China.
Okay.
Yes. And so we had already booked everything in about August of 2019. And so, we're starting a little bit to see, I think it was maybe September-ish that we're hearing a little bit more about COVID. So I'm looking and I'm looking on the CDC. I'm looking at the WHO.
Really?
Yes.
In 2019, you were on the CDC and the WHO.
In 2019. Well, we're in health.
Oh, you're in healthcare, so of course.
We're used to looking at CDC. We're used to looking at World Health Organization. We're used to pulling up Johns Hopkins and seeing what, other healthcare.
Not the rest of us.
Need to get on board.
That's the first time I ever heard about these websites.
Oh, no.
Well, good.
That's why I know Renee can relate because, we're always dealing with incidences, right? And always looking at statistics with other organizations. So nonetheless, I'm looking at the map because I want to say the incident reporting has started a little bit closer towards the end of 2019. And I'm looking at the map and I see a lot of it's in China. And so I'm telling my daughter, we're not going to make this trip. And she's like, yes, we are. Yes, we are. You're just trying to ruin my 21st birthday. I'm like, I'm just telling you, we're not going to make this trip. Why don't we choose somewhere tropical? She doesn't want to do that. I'm ruining her trip. So I said, we're going to leave it like that. And I want to say it was November, late October, November, we get our notice from United Airlines that says your trip is being canceled.
Wow.
Oh, what?
Wow.
How much in advance did you know from?
So we had the shutdown in March of 2020. So,
Right.
So it was October, so maybe 6 months beforehand. And so I said, this is going to spread. This is getting bigger and this is going to spread.
So your flight was in March and they canceled in November.
And
wow.
October, early November. Yep.
Get out.
Wow.
Yes. Cancel. And so I was like, this is going to be a big one. And I'm a little tired. I was like, I'm not going to date myself, but I said, it's, I've been through Hurricane Harvey. We had the Ebola virus. There have been others that have been kind of grueling. Healthcare is a rewarding industry, but it can be grueling. Mm-hmm. And I don't think I'm going to stick it out for COVID.
Oh my goodness.
So you put in the towel. So you put the towel in.
Surrender. I raised the white flag.
Oh my goodness. What timing is that?
Yes.
Tanya.
So
you let Renee down. Oh my goodness.
All my colleagues, I keep in touch with, because I was in it for over 20 years. So I have friends. They're colleagues.
Yeah.
And Renee knows me side by side.
Yeah. I get it.
Yeah. And your family. Yeah. So.
Yeah. But guess what, Tanya? On this part, because you're my money lady, but you positioned yourself to retire. So, and you're my money girl. So, but you positioned yourself.
Yes.
To be able to retire.
Money woman. You're money woman.
Money woman. Yeah. Well, you know what I mean. My money woman. So.
So Renee, so a couple of things, right? My grandfather always said, it's not what you make, it's what you keep. right? And he was very adamant about not keeping up with the Joneses, living within your means.
Mm-hmm.
He was conservative. And, you know, I fumbled along the way. I'm not going to sit here and say I didn't. I started making some great money and I was like, oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this.
Suckers you in.
It suckers you in. Like it suckers you in. But thankfully, you know, you always kind of go back to your values. And then I also had a mentor that was a CFO. And he had started me very early in understanding investing and the purpose of investing, right? Mm-hmm. But I was still a little bit immature in it because I was like, oh, I'll just put in my 401k. That's all I need to do.
Yeah.
Max out my 401k. That's all I need to do. And then life started happening. And I was like, I don't just need to max out my 401k and just have a savings. I need to do something with this other money that's coming in the door outside of making other people rich, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
How to make you rich.
Yeah. How many times? Funny story. Because, and then I just want to put it out there, Gritty got pushed back because of Tanya. Because she's like, because Tanya handles my money and she's looking at the numbers. She's like, tell them we not doing it in October. We're going to push it back. But Tanya, we're not doing it. Or calling Tanya from the Mercedes because we're here in LA. You know, we want the drop top. So Tanya knows my goals. And I'm at the dealership. The guy was like, oh, Renee, you're great. You look good on paper. You can drop off. I'm like, well, let me call Tanya. She's going to transfer the money. What do I need to bring? Because I got it, right? Low interest. I'm calling Tanya, I need you to transfer this because we're doing, no. Yeah. I'm like, but I got approved and I can drop off the interest rate. It says it's no. She said, because we're buying a house for, I'm like, but I'm here, Tanya, I got the shades. Tanya, I look good. I test drove it. No. She said, you'll get it. She said, when you get it, you're going to pay cash for it. So she said, just wait. And I was like, so I had to go back and say, Mom said I can't get it. Mom said, and I'm like, okay, Mom. I'm like, okay, Mom. So I'm like, Mom said I can't get it. And he's like, well, do you need me to speak to her? Do we need to take pictures? Maybe if she sees you in it. Maybe. I'm like, she said, no.
Yeah.
I'm like, she said, no, I can't have it. So, yeah. So.
I love that you share that story. And I'm going to share a little brief story before I kind of talk about my philosophy, right? So I have a best friend. We've been friends since 15. So if I tell you how many years, you guys will know how old I am. So we've been
don't do that.
I know how old you are. Let me get that and I won't tell. But go ahead. Okay.
No. Okay. So she sent me this picture. And she's like, oh, I'm getting ready to get this Chanel necklace. Gorgeous necklace, right? And she wasn't going on reel to reel, and there's nothing wrong with that. She was going to actually get it from Chanel, right? So we're talking $3,000.
My girl.
And I said, have you invested $3,000 yet before you go put $3,000 in Chanel's pocket? And so she didn't respond. So I already knew the answer to the question.
Well, you knew the answer before you even asked.
I knew that before I even asked. But that's a whole paradigm shift. You know what I'm saying? We work hard. And we want our toys. We want our rewards. And I'm not saying don't. Because Renee will tell you, I do have my toys.
Yeah.
But I pay myself first.
Right.
I pay myself first, and I make sure that I am on track to achieving the goals that I want to achieve. And it's not just about me. I want to leave a legacy that's for generations to come. So we hear, the Gates and even Beyonce and Jay-Z and whomever else has billions or millions of dollars, and they have money for generations to come.
Yes.
So that is one of my focus areas, is working with women. I'll work with anyone where we can have the same philosophy about what it looks like to help you build financial security and have goals that really secure you. Like, how many of us were fortunate not to have to blink with COVID? There are a lot of people that lost income or were really challenged to.
Yeah, a lot of people took their lives because they couldn't deal with it.
Or they empty, their 401k, so it is about making sure that you have fun, you get your toys, but you balance it too. And so, like I said, I stumbled along the way. My husband and I, we were having fun because we had kids, and we didn't want them to grow up with the struggle. The struggle. And so we did some insane things. I'm not going to say we did insane things. Like, I'll never forget, my daughter had my daughter had to go to a new school. And you know how it is when you go to a new school. It can be mean if you're not one of the popular kids or you don't fit in or what have you, right?
I had a new 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade. New school 3 years in a row, like the most ones to never have it happen except for senior year. Yeah.
Yeah. So you understand. And it's hard on a kid, right? There's so much that goes along with that. And I'm my daughters call me a helicopter mom. I am. I'm a helicopter. And this will lead to another conversation Renee and I had to have about learning to say no. Right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, we got
give me some. I'm in the process.
Yeah, go ahead.
So before I learned to say no, my daughter is going to this new school. She's already quiet. So my husband and I have 4 children, and we have a blended family. And my oldest daughter's quiet. She's not that big socialite. So I'm like, oh God, this is going to be a challenge to her. I don't want this to be a blow to her self-esteem. So what does mommy do? She throws a big old slumber party. She out of this world. We're going bowling. So we went to, it was a 2-day event. And was she in 5th grade? Because she was changing middle school. So I think she was going to 5th grade. We're doing this 2-day event. We're going to Brunswick Bowling to do Midnight Bowl. We're going to the movies. We're going to Dave and Buster's. And so because she had an itinerary, every girl in the class showed up, right?
Stop it.
So I'm like, here I am, helicopter mom, buying my daughter's friends in the new school so that she's not picked on, so she can adjust.
Yeah, not bullied, all of that.
Yeah, all of that, right? And I did it. Why? Because I had the funds to do it. So I was like, whatever, what is it? And I spent.
But that's a smart investment.
Listen to more.
A little bit more than I should have. They went home with nice gifts, and they're like, oh, well, we want to stay with her. Oh, well, of course you do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I am, and I look back, and I can't say I regret it. I say it's a learning experience from the standpoint of we spent some money, and then I'm like, I could have just a little bit extra if I didn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
But
well, how did you guys meet?
We changed that track, and so we're in a good place. But yes, Renee.
Because first of all, my BFF from high school always got on me about Desiree Wheeler. Because I learned that I can't keep up with the Wheelers, but she's like, girl, you got money all over the place. You got it. It's just a mess. She said, it's just, you got money here, you got money here, you got money there, whatever, So she was like, you need someone to get your shit together. That's what she said. So I met Tanya, and Tanya and I think Tanya had to have a glass of wine with my stuff. So she sat there, we was sitting down. And I mean, the sun, like, next time, it was like 3 hours later because she had to comb through my stuff. And he was like, you got some good stuff, but yeah, stuff, Tanya's class. She like, but you got stuff all over the place. She wasn't so brutal as Deal. You gotta get your shit together. She was like, you just have it all over the place. Matter of fact, Deal called me and they were talking. She was like, girl, I'll get it together. So remember you were like, I'll get it together. But what she did was she took that personalized care with me and she just put all my stuff together. Now I have a snapshot of where everything is. I know how much I need to retire. I know where everything is, like far as my my production company. Tanya, I gotta call Tanya and be like, Tanya, we doing this or whatever. She's like, no, I had to get permission to produce this, to do Leading Ladies. Tanya's like, what's the budget? Let me see the numbers. I got to send, Tanya's like, what's this? So Tanya is the one that got all my stuff together so that I can see, because I needed it as a woman, even though I was raised by a single mom. My mom was able to retire at 50 years of age from T. Rowe Price because Mr. T. Rowe Price set her up. But we really wasn't, I was always taught save money. I was always taught to have A1 credit and that'll get you by. But as far as money, like I wasn't taught that.
Assets, right.
Yeah, to diversify my assets. So Tanya helped me to see a snapshot of everything from a financial picture. So it's not like, oh, she's telling me what to do, but she advised me for Christmas. Yeah. Like with my, I don't know how Jacob and Corey, she's going to make them rich, but I don't do gifts anymore. Tanya set them up with, they look good. For Christmas, instead of them getting a gift, Tanya transferred money into their account. And I look at that account, I was like, oh my God, Corey's a 3-year-old and this is what she got. So that's what Tanya does. That's what she did for me as a lady. Or if I'm making a purchase like this house, Tanya is advising me. And it's like, well, no, looking at this, we're going to do this. Or she helps me negotiate better rates. So we often talk about negotiating. She helps me negotiate. As far as my job, she was like, well, Renee, okay, I understand this. You make great money, but the years that you have in healthcare, I know your bills. I know what you need. It's okay. And you said it too, Antoinette, go and ask for more because this is what we need. Because like I said.
Yeah. So and I thank you, Renee, for talking about that personalized approach because it really is a personalized, right? Mm-hmm. I have, and not only where you are today, but kind of some of the experiences that you've been through and then what our goal is. And I think one of the things that Renee and I were able to really relate to together is saying no, right? Some of us, depending on where we are within our family, we're the ones that people come to every time, right? We feel guilty.
Say that again.
We are the ones that someone comes to every time they need something. And we feel guilty if we say no, because they know we have it, right? And so we don't want them to think that we don't want to help. Right. And so I went through a lot of that as well, understanding my right to say no and how to and the fact that I'm actually becoming an enabler for that individual. Right. If I know. Right. So that was another area, which is another reason why I talked to Renee about how let's shift how we do things. Right. Yes. So, and I will tell you, one of my children was 27 before I said no. Yeah. My mother told me no at 16. Yeah. You have your license, you can drive, you can go get a job, you're good.
And so what do you think it is? What do you think it is about those of us that have difficulty saying no and say yes all the time to finally, what's the switch? What do you have to get to? What point?
I wish I could say it was like a light switch and just be like, I just turned it on one day.
But if I can add, what Tanya had with me, when we went through my financial picture, she said, Renee, and I'm getting older, she said, you need to retire. So when I looked at it, she said, you need to retire and this is how much you need. for retirement. And once she showed me that, I was like, oh my goodness, I need to work this amount. I need to work this amount of years so that I can have this, because I know my number. So that's important. I know my number because of my lifestyle, I know my number that I need to survive off of when I do retire and I can't work because of my lifestyle and things that I've built and things that I have to maintain. So that's what Tanya that's what you said to me, Tanya. Like, Renee, when are you retiring? You said, because you're not going to be able to keep, because her thing was, Renee, you're not going to be able to do 20 here, 20 hours, 16 hours here, 12 hours here. Because I can work 30 days straight because, but she's like, you're not going to be able to maintain that as you get older.
Well, that's what I wanted to talk about is like, how can you tell someone, what would you tell someone that's, 16 getting their first job and then 20 something getting out of college or no college right now? The kids don't really want to go to college anymore.
Right.
So how to get in there to start making these decisions before we're 40.
Yeah.
Right. So you have to make it real, especially at those younger ages. You have to make it real for them, right? Mm-hmm. If you go to an 18-year-old and you start talking about retirement and that is 40 something years away, they're not thinking that far ahead.
Right.
Not your average, right? 18-year-old. They're like, I'm trying to live for today. I'm trying to party.
Right.
I'm trying to go across the world. I'm trying to, my youngest daughter just called me yesterday. She's like, Mom, I'm selling everything and I'm going backpacking for a year. And I was like, okay, right ahead, Miss Thing. But
so was it a year that she was gone?
She called me yesterday. So she plans on leaving in March of this year. Okay. But
a whole year?
A whole year. She wants to backpack for.
Wow.
Yeah. But she also, she's my child. She's my protege. She listens. So she's financially good. She can go do that.
Ayana, right? Ayana.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, yeah. Ayana. Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to make things real for them. So a lot of them do have goals that are more immediate. All right. Mm-hmm. So like you said, some of them, they're choosing not to go to college as much. Okay. So do you want to start a business? What does that look like? How much money do you need? How much capital do you need? How are you going to fund that? So when you start connecting with them regarding one of their passions, then you can start having the conversation of money management and wealth management and having different goals that will assist you in solidifying yourself financially.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think about Bitcoin?
Okay, so because I am a licensed financial advisor.
Oh, shoot. Oh, no.
Yeah.
I hold my Series 7 and 66, and I am with an investment advisory firm. I cannot comment any specific investments.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, man. Fine. Okay, so not even your opinion or anything about, damn.
No, I can tell you.
Oh, my goodness. I have to hire you for that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Renee, why have I not been introduced to Tanya before?
Well,
it's been 3 years since I've known you.
Well, so the thing is, because you were one of the ones like, why we gotta wait to do gritty? Well, that's part of the reason why you gotta wait to do gritty. So because I missed, you know what I'm saying? So that's why we gotta wait. But well, the thing is, you can look her up on LinkedIn and later I can give you her information. But Tanya, like I said, Tanya is just great. I can edify her because, like I said, I have been able to make moves that I wasn't able to make before. And it wasn't, it was a knowledge problem, and then it was a shift in mindset. And then, like she said, with and like she's talking about our children and teaching them. Far as like, because Corey's like, because I told Corey, because Corey be like, Mom, is always, oh my God, Mom Dukes, how you doing? I can tell when he wants something and, hey, how's it going, Mom Dukes? And then he'll start, I'm like, no. But I'm like, no. I said, because Tanya said, I know. He's like, who's Tanya? Who's that?
Who's Tanya?
He's like, who's Tanya?
He knows who Tanya is.
Yeah, he be like, no, Corey, because, I have 2 kids, so everybody that know. He's like, who's Tanya? Is she from Is she from out east? No, Corey, she's not from out east. He's like, what she telling you? What? She telling you I don't bring your money? What's going on? No, Corey, she advised me. So then Bria's thing is, so when Bria's like, no, but what about Jacob? But Jacob has an account. So she's like, well, does Tanya understand that you've always done this for us? You know, she's like, why is Miss Tanya, what is Miss Tanya doing? Bria's like, what's Miss Tanya's angle? That's, because Bria's so, Bria tries to be classy and, it's that Seton Keo education. She's like, what's Miss Tanya's angle? Like, now she's coming in and saying, to tell you to say no? Yes, no, because I have to retire. So it's like, okay. So now they get it. And guess what, Tanya? And I had to call Tanya. I said, Tanya, I told Corey no today. And I told Bria no.
Yeah.
And she said, and we stopped.
Yes.
She said, they still living, right? I said, yes. And she said, they'll be okay.
They will be okay.
And guess what? They called me the next day. What's up, Mom Dukes? I still got Mom Dukes. And I got from Bria, hey, Miss Lady, how's it going? So it was like,
yep.
So now it's like, when they call, no. Like, damn, I didn't even say anything. I'm like, just in case. No.
No.
Yeah. It's like, no, I don't even say hello. It's no.
Well, you've mastered the no.
Yeah. So back to you, Antoinette. She's I call her my money. I said my money girl. She's part of my money team because she has helped me a lot. And people that know Renee Page know that I needed help. It wasn't a money thing like Tanya, because it looked good on paper, but stuff was all over the place. It was just shifting that mindset. That was what it is. Shifting the mindset, because you can have money, but it's what you're doing with your money.
Right. Sometimes I find some of my clients, there's significant leak, a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit here. And next thing you know, you spend $1,000 and on what?
Right.
On what?
Right. You don't have anything.
And if you did you make sure you paid yourself first?
Exactly.
So I'll give a prime example. Like I said, I have my little toys and, like mother. So my daughters want to be like me. So they want to go buy what I buy. Well, first of all, you don't make what I make. So you can't go buy what I buy. But second of all, did you pay yourself first? So before you go spend $1,500 on a purse, did you put $1,500 in your investment account?
Yes.
At the side, and because I started all of them with accounts. So they have 3 different accounts. One is for retirement. I said, yes, retirement for you could be earlier than the traditional 65, but we're going to start it because look at what you will have accumulated in the next 40 something, right? And then they have one for in a car and their first property. And then they have their fun one. This is the one travel around the world or do whatever I want to do, etc. And so have you paid into all of those accounts so that your projections will be where they need to be before you go buy that purse or whatever it is you want?
Yeah, because you started Corey, my little Corey. You started hers. She had an investment account. What? She was 1 years old.
Yeah, or 2. Yeah, 1 or 2.
Yeah. So so you started hers right away. He was like, no, we're not doing Christmas. We're doing. So she has an investment account that you. Yeah. So and then Jacob has one. So that's what she did. She was like, no, we're not doing Christmas this year. Yeah, so she canceled Christmas on them.
Let parents buy the toys.
Exactly.
As a grandparent, I don't have grandchildren yet, but I told my kids, I said, when I do, I'm not that grandmother that's giving you a bunch of toys. I'm making sure that they can get through college without student loans. And that's the part of the parents' responsibility.
Yeah.
For sure. But I know as a parent, you want to get the toys also, right? Your kids get with the latest things. You want to get that too. So, but it's a matter of understanding and really shifting that mindset.
Yeah, because to edify you again, So a lot of times when you and I meet quarterly and you look at quarters account, I'm like, oh my goodness, she's only 3 years old. So the system, what you did worked because I know that you can't talk about financial stuff, but you are the one that manages her account.
Right.
So you have made her investments, you have done anything, and she's 3. So I'm like, so when she calls me, it's like, hi, Grandma. I'm like, hi, but it's like, I'm looking at her like, you don't know what you have. You haven't at 3 years old, you have a financial advisor that manages your fund for you, your fund for you. And the thing is, it can go up and down and it can stand the test of the pandemic and things like that. So that's what Tanya does, even though she can't speak about it, but that's what she manages investment account. I'm not one of those multi-million ones that she does, not yet, but that's what but I'm going to be there. I'm putting it in existence, but to edify her, that's what I can speak about, that she manages money, does an awesome job as part of being a part of my money team. And also teaching me. That's another thing that, as a leading lady, she has taught me how to look at a dollar. I know I'm just saying a dollar, but how to look at that dollar different. How to look at the dollar different.
Because if you can manage a little, you can manage a lot, right? And so it comes down to that. And just so the audience knows, it's for compliance reasons.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned that you had a mentor that helped you in switching your careers and everything. So do you have role models that hopefully leading ladies that you looked up to along your way and helped get you on your path?
So I'll be honest, in that I rely essentially for my financial path on that one mentor. In my time and going along my journey, I had not found women. There are not a lot of us if you look at EOC report, just among licensed financial advisors, period, the percentage of women versus men is minuscule. And then the percentage of women of color is under 3%. So
wow.
I really had not had someone who I had found, not saying that they aren't out there, but when you look at, less than 3%, and my mentor actually was a white male. And I was appreciative of that from the standpoint, there was no barrier in his mind, right, for assisting me and on this path. So
that's excellent. I totally can understand where you're coming from, because I asked this question to all of our guests about who their mentors are, who role models, and I can relate to what you're saying, where I didn't find a lot of any women in my path and it happened to always be men. Now, I entrusted in, help me move up. Now, my first law job, the women told me women will keep you down. They won't help you along the way. They will try and just learn this little nugget and keep themselves and advance themselves. And once I heard that, I started as a file clerk. I became the office manager, eventually. So I was like, why would you do that? And ever since they said that to me, I was like, nope, I'm helping every woman. I'm going to help mentor them. I'm going to help you get a raise. I'm going to help you with your next job interview. I'm going to, whatever you need to call me.
Yeah. And you're absolutely right. I will say that, I've had other female mentors, but just not specifically in this space and in the financial. I had, and then once I entered the financial space, I have met some phenomenal female financial advisors. And so, and they have been very supportive. They're amazing. But kind of when my journey initially started, I didn't have that. But I would say the other women mentors that I had really supported me from the standpoint of being just a woman of color that wanted to become an executive, and giving me kind of those pearls of wisdom and knowing some of the pitfalls to try and avoid. And then during my
Can you give us any of those pearls of wisdom? Is there any that stand out that you remember? You can share with us.
Yeah. So be your true, authentic self. And that was hard for me. That was, and you know, you hear people say that and you're like, I am who I am. No, are we really? Are you putting it on the front? Are you trying to make sure that you're accepted when you walk in the room? You know, are you trying to make sure that you said the right thing, that you know, did the right thing? Are you being so critical of yourself that you are constraining your true talent?
Yeah.
And I think that we find that happening more often than not. And sometimes I think it happens on a subconscious level. So really, for example, I am authentically a kind, embracing person. I like to hug. So, you know, I will hug my client, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
I get hugs all the time.
I like that.
Your family.
I like that person's touch, right? I care, right? And so, but in some of I've sat in boardrooms. I felt like I couldn't show that level of sensitivity, right? I had to, you know, kind of be stoic or stern, or, you know, make sure that I could hold my own. I would get tested and have to make sure I passed that test, right? And so I wasn't always my authentic self. So if I could give of wisdom, but I have found in maturing professionally that, you know, I'm faith-based. So God will always bless you for being your true self and for exercising the talents that he gave you, not only for yourself, but for others.
Yeah.
Well, being your true self goes in hand with saying no.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yes.
like no. Yeah, I like saying no.
I know it's a lot of power in that word.
My God. Because yes is easy. No is like,
yeah. You're absolutely right, Renee. Say that again. Yes is easy.
Yeah.
It's hard to say no. It's hard to say no. And, you know,
I thought it was just me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's hard to say no.
Yeah.
But it's very empowering. So,
yeah.
And I think we're seeing just in the past couple of years the need for people to say no, to be able.
Well, the pandemic, I can't. That gave me the perfect excuse to start saying no. It's like, oh, I'm still quarantining. Like, no, I'm not going out in public. I don't do that. I don't want to see you. Don't you get the hint?
Yeah, everybody use COVID. Everybody use COVID.
Yes. Oh. No, I can finally say no to people.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to jump into the rapid fire questions.
Oh,
we can.
Oh, this is going to be fun. Go ahead.
Uh-oh.
Okay, your favorite book.
Oh my gosh. Oh, okay. Crud. That's hard because I have a few. Okay, so maybe I'll tell you.
Give us 3.
Okay, The Secret. The Secret is my favorite book.
Yes, that's on my list.
That's our next book to read.
Yes, you keep hearing that.
Yeah.
Ask and it is given.
Yes.
And The Abundance Project.
Okay.
Those are my favorite.
Mm-hmm. All right. We are noting those down. What is one of the best investments you made under $100 in 2021?
Oh, I want to hear this. Are there any?
I cannot tell you. I can't tell you. I will say,
like a hairbrush, like anything under $100, like the
not at the stringers. She probably have 100. She probably have a Chanel brush sitting on her vanity. So no.
Oh, the best investment I've made under $100. Okay. Oh, you know what? Some Steve Madden heels. That's what I've under $100.
They're comfortable.
Yeah.
I love Steve Madden heels.
Okay.
look, but they are comfortable. And I said, okay, I can work. You know what? Because I'm a little over having the look without the comfort.
Okay. So noting that, Steve Madden, for comfort.
For comfort.
Okay.
Comfort. Got it. If you could have coffee with one person, who would it be?
Oh my gosh. Michelle Obama.
Second person that said that.
It would be Michelle Obama. Mm-hmm.
Your number one advice for self-care?
Oh, from the spa.
Pampering yourself?
Yes, pampering yourself. So whatever that means to you. Yes, pampering yourself. Whether it's meditating, if it's, riding a bike, whatever it is, pamper yourself. Yeah, whatever that is for you.
Okay. If you could switch careers tomorrow, what would you try?
That's a good one. I'd try and be an actress.
Y'all two need to talk.
Well, welcome to the club. You got this. Let's do it. You're quitting tomorrow after you do my financial stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. And what's the first thing you do every morning when you wake up?
I meditate.
For how long?
At least half an hour.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I get up at 5:30 in the morning, and I'm blessed because my bedroom faces east.
Okay.
So I get the sunrise, and I sit there for half an hour in silence, and I just meditate. I say the gratitude. I talk about my intention for the day. That God, you and I have got this. And then I get up and move on. Yep.
So let me ask my little favorite question. What stops you from hitting that snooze button and laying back down?
That is an excellent question. I have gotten to a point in my life where I deserve it. So I'll tell you about the sermon real quick that we went to it was January 2nd, so day after New Year's at church. And our pastor asked us, when you have to pray, because I used to meditate, I've been meditating for years, right? Like you said, it's real easy to hit that snooze button. And for decades, I did hit the snooze button, or I got up and I was hustling kids, putting them together and, running off to work and blah, blah, blah. And so, and putting myself and my mental health on the back seat. And so the pastor said, do you feel like you have to pray or that you get to pray? And so I was like, So do you feel like it's a burden that you have to set aside time to pray, that you have to set aside time to talk to God? You can't squeeze it in your day? Or do you feel like, oh, this is a great time? Like kids get excited to go on a trip or to the amusement park or go to the candy store. They're like, oh, I get to go X, Y, and Z. And so I said, even as mature as I think I am in my faith, I think sometimes I approach it like I have to, like I don't have time for it. Like I'm going to squeeze it in, blah, blah, blah. And I said, nope, I get to. And so ever since then, I wake up and I'm like, this is half an hour where I get to spend with my God and be thankful and take on the world. And that's what changed. So
okay, cool. Last question.
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite podcast?
This one. Leading Ladies.
Oh my God, thank you.
And we did not have to prompt this one, I promise.
We didn't. No, we didn't. We didn't have to prompt this one. Yeah. I didn't have to call before and be like, don't forget. This is genuine.
It is genuine. It's genuine.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, we really appreciate you being on our podcast and being our leady lady for today. If someone wants to get in touch with you for financial planning, they can reach you on LinkedIn. How else is that? Do you want to give out?
Or they can contact Renee and you have my information too. Internet. So the best, vehicle would be one of those.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for being here today.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Thank you. I appreciate it. This has been fun. So if nothing else, I hope that, I've been helpful for other women and just, you have what it takes. So go do it, whatever it is.
Yes.
All right.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, thank you. And thanks to everyone for tuning in this week's episode. For more content, you can follow our social media at HeapEnt. That's at HEEPENT. If you have questions, collab pitches, or anything you want to tell us, you can email our team at heapent@gmail.com. You can reach me on Facebook, Instagram, Antoinette Westcott, Renee Page, Renee L. Page, same places. Until next time.
Bye.
Oh, I got to stop.